Hi, friends. Welcome to Getting Your Real Estate Life Together. I'm Tracey Hicks with All Things Real Estate, and today I'm super excited. We have one of our good local friends, Mikisha, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Mikisha's in Portland, but we're actually doing a Zoom call anyways. We're pretending we're in person because we can see each other. Thanks for coming, Mikisha.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be on with you, Tracey. I love everything that you do, so I feel honored.
You're one of our favorites.
Well, thank you. I am Mikisha Ismail. I'm with Curate Realtors Elite.
Well, let's talk about the Portland market really quick. I try not to do too much chatting prior because that's where the good stuff is. But, kind of going over what's happening in the market right now. For those of you that are listening later on down the road, it's September 1st today. Nobody knows what day, month, any of that. We all know what year it is. So our market in Portland, and I think all across the United States pretty much, is crazy town. Tell us a little bit about kind of what's happening in your business and what is coming your way, who you're working with, the challenges, realtor stuff. Tell us what's going on with you right now.
Totally. My business has actually taken like a total right turn in the sense that it got busier. And I'm primarily working with buyers, which is honestly, that's super unusual for me. I'm usually on the listing side. And I'm telling you, almost all my clients are buyers. And so the biggest thing that's happening is that transition. And then the market is crazy, crazy hot. There's a huge change in the way that people are purchasing, from my perspective anyway. People are taking into consideration, because of COVID-19, the different environments where they're going to be working, because a lot of people are transitioning and now they're working from home. Kids are home, which is crazy.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Because you're a mama.
Oh my God, it's been intense. So my husband works from home, and he was working from home before all of this, but now he's indefinitely, permanently, he's here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And my son, he was in daycare, he's 5, and all of that kind of got shut down. And so we've been really trying hard to figure out that dynamic of, number one, him being home, both of us working like crazy, and the fact that he's 5 years old and a complete sponge.
Right.
And so be stimulating him. But at the beginning, we're we don't know how to do this. I'm not a teacher. I'm not going to pretend I'm good at that.
Right.
When it comes to little ones, it's been intense with that whole situation. Those are the biggest, I would say. Some of them are perks. Many are obstacles that we are currently overcoming. It's huge transitions.
Yeah, that's a big change for you, going from not only you as a mostly listing agent going to buyers, but also the fact that our inventory, we don't have to tell everybody what is going on because everybody's in it too, but the inventory is low, the interest rates are low. So it's just that I don't know when it's going to catch up. And I am hopeful, and I'm seeing that people are saying that, the housing market isn't going to be affected like a lot of industries are, but at the same time, it's still so tough to buy a house right now. So what are you doing with your buyers? And we already have to handhold, as buyer's agent, you're already their therapist and their finance, everything. How are your buyers doing? And what are you doing right now to make them feel better?
Oh my God. It's a lot of making them feel better. And really, honestly, it's a lot of educating them on strategy, on structuring our offers, because at this point, there's a lot of people coming into Portland, and there's a lot of people with liquid. And so that's been an obstacle where people are waiving appraisal contingencies and going $30,000, $40,000 over asking. And so that's, not everyone has those means. And a lot of locals don't have those means because they're not coming from an already inflated market, say Seattle or California, and coming down with liquid, buying completely outright, and then having a bunch of liquid to renovate after that. So it's tough for, our locals and them trying to break in. But for me, it's a lot of hand holding in the sense that I just want to make them feel like they do stand a chance at this kind of fast-paced market, and you just have to kind of power through it and keep going. where you feel discouraged. Like my clients feel discouraged. I feel discouraged sometimes.
Right.
But it's like continuing to look. And yes, it's a little bit harder than normal. Actually, kind of take that back because it has been intense here for years and it just keeps steadily growing.
Yeah.
But it's just like keeping the momentum and continuing to look and not getting discouraged because there is a property out there and you will win your bid. It's all in timing.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something that you did want and now you have to pull back from that. But there are homes. It's just people turning over their homes. Like they don't have a place necessarily to go. And so our inventory is kind of low. Because sellers then have to find somewhere to be and there's nothing for them.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's new construction and stuff happening, but like what I've noticed about a lot of Portlanders is they love those old Portland homes and that whole style, and new construction is a very niche and unique. That's a unique buyer.
It is.
And so not everyone's looking for that. And that's probably what's more available from what I'm seeing. And so finding those older homes with character and that you can put your touch on right in the heart of Portland Metropolitan, it's
a needle in the haystack.
It's so
a unicorn. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to chat with you about too is you mentioned appraisals and people waiving that. Like I'm not an active realtor anymore. I try to keep up as much as I can, but how do you feel about that? Like, what does that mean? Are realtors bringing that to their clients? Are clients hearing that and saying, I want to do it? It seems scary, but then it also doesn't. And then how does that work? I'm going to be naive for a second. How do lenders, is it cash people?
Yeah. So they're like, no matter what this property is appraised at, in order to be competitive, when there's 5 or 7 offers is what I'm hearing, they add that into the offer as a perk.
Right.
And so it's just really appealing because where you have your hangups, like home inspection and then your financing contingency period and then your appraisal contingent. Like you have your hangups and you're kind of like, oh my God, we're getting to this area in the transaction. And that's kind of where it gets scary. People are like, you know what? I don't care about that. Yeah. So let's move forward. And it just makes that particular offer that much more appealing. Like you're going over, you're waiving this, you're buying as is. I mean, it's kind of nuts. But then again, it's like once that property closes and it's sold at that price, it's setting the tone for all of the surrounding properties, obviously. And so at the end of the day, as long as other people are doing the same and those values are getting kind of set by the people minus the appraisal, at the end of the day, that will be the value. Yeah. And so people know that even if they go above asking and they waive appraisal, that value will catch up. Yeah. And so they're not afraid, whereas people were afraid before, like, I'm paying over and I'm not going to get my money back on this, essentially. Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, you will, because everyone else around you or a lot of people around you are doing the same thing. And so when you set that tone and you set that price, look 2 or 3 years down the road, that's the price.
And it'll catch up too. I think that people forget that they're going to be in their house probably at least 5 years, 3 to 5 years. And even though you may be at appraised value where a lot of people want to like buy a house and have value right away, it's going to catch up. Like you're going to have value. You're going to be in your house. It's your home. You live there. Yeah. It's serving you a purpose. It's not just for making profit, but it's an investment. So one of the things that because when I first started in real estate, it was a hot market. And so we were getting creative and doing all that stuff way back in 2007, 5, 6, whenever that was. One of the things that we would do is if it appraised lower than our offer because we had to go so high, is that we would still get creative in figuring out how to cover that appraisal difference. Right. And obviously a seller is like, well, I could have went with another offer and it may be but you're in the offer now. So are you coming across that at all where your not cash buyers are running up against any kind of appraisal issues?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to jump, but we had that exact scenario happen with the home that we flipped in Southeast Portland.
Okay.
Basically, I've been hearing all kinds of stories with appraisal companies and kind of being upset about the values being so high. And so, I had been tracking properties ever since we closed on that property to then start the renovation. And what I was seeing is that value was steadily climbing, but the appraiser during that transaction, I don't know what properties they used, but ours came in $20,000 lower than our list price. And we had multiple offers, like 20 grand over.
Right.
So it's like, we had to figure out how to meet in the middle. Essentially, we met in the middle. And some people are willing to come with the rest of the liquid to get to that higher price that they originally offered.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to meet in the middle. And what we did was, she actually was able to get funding in a different way through her bank, separate from, the home loan. And so that's a unique scenario, and I haven't come across that.
Yeah.
But she got some funding there, and then she brought some to the table, and we were able to get to our actual list price because, at the end of the day, we had multiple offers, and we knew that there were people that had liquid. Let me just tell you, I chose her out of complete emotion. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, her letter, blah, blah, blah. It was amazing. I was like, my husband and I are like, we're going to cry. And we were like, okay, wait, we have terms over here.
Right.
And so that was an obstacle that we faced because we had made a selection, a lot of it out of emotion, and not everyone. Some sellers do that, and some sellers are like, no, how much?
Right.
Like, how much am I making? I don't know how people are getting unique with. That's what sticks out at the top of my mind because it's so fresh and recent. You do have to be creative.
You worked with the buyer's agent to make that happen. And I think that we as realtors forget about that, and that we're all in this together, and that every profession has their quirks and their annoyances and all of that. But the bottom line is that, you have to work together to get this, to get deals done. And I think people forget about that all too often. I do want to say that I think that's good advice that you as a seller and an agent chose an offer based on the letter, because I see stuff all the time. It's like people are asking about, should I write a letter? And then you hear people that are like, no, they're worthless. They're time consuming. But at the same time, you go with your client and you don't know what's going to happen. To me, and this is a personal opinion, I guess, for everybody. Well, if your client wants to write a letter, you have to let them write a letter and submit it with the offer, of course. But as an agent, I'm wondering, are people recommending to their buyers to still write letters in this competitive? Is it now more than ever? Like, I think so. Did you see a lot of letters in your offers that came in? Yeah. It's another edge, because not only do you want to make your offer strong and put your best foot forward, depending on the scenario and the price of the home and how much liquid you have, but it's also important to appeal to that emotional side, because when push comes to shove, like, you don't know who you're sending it to. You're sending it through another agent to another human being that you have no idea who that person is. Yeah. And so for me, it's really important. And I advise all of my clients to write a letter if they can sit down and do all that and get emotional. Some people don't. Some people are like, whatever, like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do all that. I'm giving them all this money. They're not getting a letter too.
Exactly. Like, I'm coming with a really strong competitive offer. I don't need to write a letter. I'm probably gonna win this bid. But I do say, include a picture, show them who you are, tell them what you do, tell them why you love that particular property. Because there's someone, like, I could be, kind of shut off and just say, what are the numbers looking like? Because that's what, an investor mentality would be. Yeah. But for who I am, I'm an emotional human being. That's just what I'm, Yeah. And so that appealed to me and I loved it. And we made a decision based partially on that letter. I think it's important because sellers also, what is their story? Why did they buy the home? Is it a family home? Did they live there for 15 years and now it might appeal to that seller. Yeah. So I say write a letter and throw a picture in there too.
Right. It's about the story too. It sticks, even selling your house. how good are you going to feel in 3 years? You're going to drive by that house and be like, oh my gosh, you're going to think about the buyer and the process and how that went. And everybody's different. And sometimes it is just about the money, but it's not always. I think, yeah, that's something to also remember. What about video? Do you ever get video of people with their letter?
No.
I heard that like a couple of years ago, and I just thought that was the cutest idea ever. I just wondered if people actually did it, like, and it could just be like a camera, phone, quick video or whatever. I don't know, but I've heard of realtors and people doing that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a wave of the new offer process, because video is huge now for every industry.
You as a realtor could interview your buyers to just be like, okay, why do you love this house? And, tell us about, make it quick and short. Don't make it a 15-minute video.
Right.
But,
start crying.
Right. Make it short and sweet. But you have to, if this is competition, kind of, I don't want to say anything goes, but whatever works.
Do the full package.
Yeah.
Send the full package. Like, that's what I love seeing. I'm like, the agent who went out of their way to show me exactly what the terms consist of, right in the body email, send me a picture of the clients, send me that letter, let me know what's going on. Like, I think it's important to send the most full-bodied offer that you could put together at this point, because our market is so competitive. Southeast is hot fire sauce right now.
Right.
I'm talking the entire metropolitan area and all of the outskirt cities.
Yeah.
Like, we're moving, and we're moving quick. So.
Even with all of the national attention that we're getting, let's just put that out there. Like, people are thinking that we're burning to the ground and all that. And
oh my goodness, I can't.
Everybody
come out here and see what's happening, because it's getting
right. I don't feel the amount of people moving into, everybody's kind of in a standstill, I guess, when you're talking about moving state to state. I don't know. Everybody has a reason for moving and doing what they're doing, but the influx, it seems to be shifting. But that's another thing that I wanted to chat with you about. You're a super diverse agent. You're not just a realtor. You're also investing and flipping, and then your side gig, your other full-time job.
Curate Your Cozy. Side gigs.
Exactly. That always turn into, full-time gigs. But it's all, like I always say, as long as it all encompasses real estate and it all fits in with all the other things that you're doing, then that makes sense. But Curate Your Cozy is something you've been talking about for a couple of years, and it seems to have evolved. And so tell us what Curate Your Cozy is, and where did this come from, and where you're going and where you're at.
Oh man, this is a nice long story here. Okay, so it started with, I got my bachelor's degree in interior design, and I still obviously practice interior design, and it's been a solid 12 years of me just here and there practicing interior design. And so having that background and going from interior design, which wasn't as lucrative for me, it can be extremely lucrative and it's very niche, and it just didn't work out for me in that manner. So I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to enhance this? That's when I decided to get my real estate license, and having that background married with real estate was something extremely appealing for the clients that I'm working with. And the clients that gravitate towards utilizing me know that this is a perk that they're going to get during the process. So it's usually either a seller who wants to renovate their house or do updates in order to get their house ready for the market, or they want to put their house on and look for an investment opportunity or something that needs work. There's always some sort of need for the interior design. They're usually looking for that when they come to me. And so most of my clients, I'm able to utilize that skill set. And so I'm going to move quickly over to Curate Your Cozy.
No, that's all important. That's all important.
Ever.
Yeah. So no, I love it.
Going into Curate Your Cozy, I have a lot of people, they're chomping at the bit. They're asking me questions or DMing me and texting me daily. Oh my God, look at this. I'm getting this. I'm buying this. What do you think about this? Pairing that. I thought it would be beautiful to start, which, I have a lot of nurturing of that to make that really pop and come to fruition like I envision it. It's a curation of product, of home accessories, and just like interior design based product that I curate because people are asking for my expertise. I figured, well, let me just start like making these selections of things that I would put together or cluster together and sell and kind of build on that. And so that's where the idea of Curate Your Cozy came from. Right. It's like less adopting an aesthetic, curating your own aesthetic based off of the things that you love and what you feel comfortable and how you feel comfortable living. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, I love modern, this and that. And like, it doesn't have to be that cut and dry. It doesn't have to be that black and white. It's like basically making your selections of what you love and tying it together. I think that's kind of where people struggle, is making all of that look complete and tied together and intentional. And you can do that with so many things in so many ways that they're not even in the same era. They're not even in the same design category, but you can tie them together. It's just, it takes a little bit of massaging and like figuring that out and shifting. People are like, you're crazy and erotic. You shifted this clock like 5,000 times. And so that's kind of what I do in order to tie my aesthetic together, because I don't want to fit into a box. I want to curate my own box and figure out what I love. So that's what Curate Your Cozy is. It's like me pulling together different accessories and items that would then make your home feel completed, like the little tchotchkes, the candles, the throws, the blankets, the pillows, things where even if you go and you renovate your home in its entirety, it feels sterile because you're like, okay, I want some throw pillows on my couch or whatever.
Yeah. And the same things have been out there since the beginning. And you're like, I just need to switch it up. Who was your audience for that? It was your clients, right?
Yep. That was the inspiration for that. And so originally Curate Your Cozy, I wanted it to be a subscription-based box. When I started it, subscription-based boxes were just like everywhere. It's like everywhere. Shape Club, FabFitFun, and Etsy, and Birch, and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like not one for interior design. Let's do this. Let's figure this out. But then it's kind of started morphing into like, this would be a beautiful closing gift for a real estate agent to give to their clients. Like the original collection that I created, which I just sold the last box yesterday. So I'm going to start a new collection with 5 items. And, all of those items varied, but it'd be the main box was an authentic Moroccan throw pom-pom blanket from Morocco, handcrafted.
Wow.
African mud throw pillow coverings with linen backings, like high end, but you're getting a smoking deal for like 5 items and you just start curating these corners. And so there was, like an oversized PF Candle Co. candle that usually would cost you like $40 for the one candle, and you're getting this full package. There was like macrame plant hangers and African woven baskets from this company that's actually locally based in Portland. The name of the company, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, is Amja, but she goes to Africa and she works with a village, and she's providing a portion of their infrastructure by having them produce this product and bringing it back and selling it. And so that's the research that I love to do. And then curating that and making that affordable for people to then build out their homes. And they're like, where are you getting this stuff? And I'm like, Etsy, online, Home Goods, Target, whatever, wherever.
But that's the thing, is you love it. That's why you find the good stuff, is because that's something you love. Not everybody. I love good design, but I don't want to go to 5 different places to find. I don't even know what I'm looking for to begin with. So, because I remember when you were talking about this when you came into the store, and I was like, I've been in this apartment for a couple years now, and I was like, I need to get a box for my apartment because I don't have a ton of stuff in here. I've, empty nesting. I'm like, I put everything that I didn't need in storage, and I'm just like starting with a couch and a couple of shelves, and it felt so good to just like minimize. That's where I'm always like, hire the expert or pay for getting it done, because a lot of energy and effort goes into it that a lot of people aren't going to do it. I just love that.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
To
I
think of all
remember
those
when,
little things.
yeah. I remember when you wanted to do it for real estate agents to buy for their listings and things like that. So is that something
Yeah.
you're still looking at doing, or who are you marketing to right now?
I really have to hone in on who is going to gravitate towards it
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
I originally was just thinking, general population, people who want to start infusing some sort of curated design into their space. I love the idea of it being a gift box. I think that right now, like, I'm restructuring it because originally I did want it to be that, but then a lot of people, just friends and family and people who are gifting, started purchasing.
Yeah.
So what it's going to morph into is I'm going to do large curated boxes and smaller curated boxes. And I'm going to sell individual items that I just love, right? It's almost like mixed picks, basically, of items that I love. And at the end of the day, the goal is for all of that to kind of like work with each other. All those pieces can really work. It's just how you place them where and what does your background look like, So I want to limit it, but then again, I'm like, I don't, because I want Curate Your Cozy to turn into what people want it to be. If I market to one sector, then they probably might be the only people who see it. So I want to keep it broad, and I want everyone to purchase. The last box that I sold, which is called the Shay Shay, and it's super cute. It's going to be a bridal gift for someone, and they're going to even build off of that. So that's their base. Gosh. And they're going to build an even bigger gift basket for one of their really dear friends who just got engaged. And so I love that idea. Real estate agents, it's like when someone buys a house and they put their down payment and they go to closing, they cut that check. They're like, I'm moving in and I want to get going on putting my home together. And what is a better gift than giving them something to zhuzh up their home and to like put those touches on it? I love the idea of realtors or brokerages even making it something that their agents can sign up for and will mail out these curated boxes as gifts. The goal is for it to be for the general population and to be for real estate agents and people just gifting.
It's for everyone.
I love the idea of it. Yeah, it's for everyone. Whoever has the love for interiors, design, and all things home and all things real estate, like this Curate Your Cozy box really could work for you. It could work for you. It could work for a gift. It could work for your own home. So,
yeah. No, I love that you said you want it to turn into what people want it to be. I mean, that's how businesses, first of all, obviously there's a lot of passion there for you. And I think that that's something that is necessary in any kind of entrepreneur or business. And, you kind of already know that because you're a realtor, and it's who we are as agents. We're already entrepreneurs, whether we knew it or not. And, entrepreneur is a buzzword now. When I got into business 15 years ago, it was a thing, but certainly not the way it is now. And I just love that agents are like, I see online, like in some of the Facebook groups and stuff, people are like, any agents here have part-time jobs or part-time gigs. And there's a couple schools of thought where it's like, no, you need to put all your focus into realtoring and then you'll be successful. If you need a part-time job, then you're not putting your 100% into your real estate stuff. But also realtors are natural entrepreneurs and they want to do other things. And that's why they say invest and flip and doing those kinds of things. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're building your portfolio and you're doing what you love. And that's so important, because if you're not doing that, then you're going to get burnt out. You're going to hate your job. So I love hearing the passion in we always love chatting when you come into the store, and I want to know what's going on lately with you and what's happening and all that good stuff. But that's the kind of stuff that I think realtors, it's really easy to get burnt out and kind of forget the passion. And if you are a little burnt out on real estate, what else is it in your business, that you found that niche for you? And it's not for everyone. Some people are really great at just being a straight up realtor rock star, and that's what they love to do. So, I guess my point is, don't be afraid to venture out and do stuff that you love, that you're passionate about.
Yeah, that was super important to me, like when I was thinking about what else am I going to work on, but I wanted it always to marry with the next. It's like, I'm exploring, like when you started All Things Real Estate, I'm like, that is such a strong and powerful name for your company.
Yeah.
Because then you're creating a platform to allow other people to explore all of these facets, right? Through marketing.
Yeah.
And just like thinking about that. I love that. For me, it's like All Things Real Estate. I love everything about homes, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. I love everything about interiors. I love that when people care. I love the idea of it being a lifestyle. I can go off on a tangent for hours, but like I'm super passionate about this. If you want that lifestyle and I can help you facilitate that in any manner, even like micro, I'm here for that. I'm 100% here to help you figure out, what do you like? Don't be afraid. Invest, renovate, design, decorate, demo, you know what I mean? Or do none of those things and do cosmetic, or do none of those and find something that you love.
Yeah.
Pick out, figure out what it is that you love and the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself, because that is what real estate means. From my perspective.
Okay. So obviously it's September 1st. You have a kiddo.
Yes.
Family life, business life, work life. Even though last school year, we cut it short. And so people kind of got used to doing the homeschooling or whatever you want to call it. But I think everybody did that with the mentality of, oh, they'll be back in September. Right. And now they're not. So how are you balancing your work, family life, kiddo, husband, everybody under the same roof and going to school? And what are you doing? What's happening with you? I can't imagine having a child in the house right now.
White Claw while I talk about this,
girl. And I'm glad that I remembered to talk about this. I was at my daughter's coffee shop yesterday, and this lady forgot to wear her mask in, and my daughter was like, "Do you have your mask?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot in the car. Let me go grab it." She comes back in. She feels so bad. She's so apologetic. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm just she's all over the place." It's like 4:00, and my daughter's coffee shop also has alcohol. She was like, "Can I get a vodka soda?" And we were like, I was like, okay, she's had a day or whatever. And she had said something. I was like, I can't imagine being a parent right now. She's like, she raises her hand. She's like 7 and 8 year old. She's like, they were getting dropped off, and I don't know, but she was trying to get it in before the kids got home. And I was like, girl, I feel your pain. I can't imagine. So what is that like for you guys? What's going on? What are you doing?
Oh, it was crazy town in the Ismail house at first. I mean, actually, I take that back. When it comes to husband and child, it was fun. At first, it seemed like, oh my God, like Christmas vacation or the holidays are coming. It was that whole vibe at first. It was like, oh my God, we're home. Let's like have coffee together. Let's like make breakfast every morning. And then we're like, okay, we can't make breakfast every morning, man. We cannot make bacon, eggs, and pancakes. And that's what my son got used to, by the way. So, but it was fun at first. It got a little intense because we're in a home. My son needs, every drip of attention he can get because he's 5 and he's just like bouncing off the walls. He wants to play. He wants to watch TV. YouTube is huge. He's just like, I want to watch YouTube. Please, please, please. And we're just like, no. We're like, okay, if we tell him no, we have to keep him stimulated in some other kind of way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's like school should be starting. And my husband is just like, he is at the height, like he just keeps growing and growing. And he's in a corporate environment. And he's the guy for his company right now. And so, he's chomping at the bit. I'm busier than ever. And usually it's like I spend a lot of time, working home office style because I was doing listings, but now buyers.
Right.
So I'm like pounding pavement. I'm here, but I'm not at home. So by the time I would get home, my husband's like, oh my God, like
feeling like a stay-at-home work dad.
Yes. And he's like, he's not used to that because he's used to being in his office and it's quiet and used to our son. He's at school and I have the home and then I can go and come and go as I please. And I don't have to worry about crazy messes and loud and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Tracey, I've been working for my car sometimes. crying in there. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, I'll be out in the driveway.
Literally. I was like, maybe I should take this Zoom call in my car. That probably would be the wisest decision that I can make for today.
Right.
Yeah. But, we're getting our groove now. And so obviously with the idea that this isn't going anywhere anytime soon, to me, it's like adapt. You have to adapt to this situation, and you have to kind of be like on the forefront and not be naive.
And treat it like,
I know that sounds harsh.
Yeah. And you have to treat it like it's going to be like this forever. Just from mindset, I can imagine.
Yeah. You have to constantly switch it up and change as to the new information that you're getting, because, we went from being able to go in the stores with like no masks, and then now you have to have a mask on you 24/7, and like, oh my God, you have to wait in line to get in because they have a capacity rule now, and 6 feet spacing. And so it's like my biggest thing, and I think that the area where it's benefiting us the most is that we have adapted, and we're not going to pretend like this is about to go away. We're going to act like this is how our new system is going to be, and we're going to work to try to thrive in that, which is really hard because there's so many unknowns. But we're like, Yusuf, our son, he might not know this school dynamic the way that we all grew up our lives. He's starting kindergarten next week. And, we're like, oh my God, social interaction, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can't always think of like what will be lacking. We have to think of, okay, where can we make sure that he's thriving?
Yeah.
So we ended up hiring a tutor for him to go through the curriculum with him and sit down like almost in a classroom setting.
Yeah.
But it's just him and one of his buddies it's one of my best girlfriend's sons, and they're the same exact age. And
oh my gosh,
they're going to have direct attention and focus. And for right now, that is the best thing that we could possibly do for ours.
You can't do it all. And
I'm not even patient that way. I can't even, I'm like, you can't count to 10. Like, what? I'm like, it's 1, 2, you can't read this, dude? Like, so I'm like, how can you not sound this out? So I just don't, I'm a short-wicked lady sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. And I commend teachers, like what they do in educating our children is, there's a lack of praise that they deserve.
Yeah.
And I feel like parents are feeling that more than ever. They're like,
oh, okay, totally.
Where are the teachers at? And can you come to my house?
Right. I love how you guys figured that part out, because a lot of people are trying to do everything because they think they have to. And it's so hard to take a step back and realize, okay, I don't have to do everything.
Right.
You can still do it all without doing everything. You could do it all by hiring somebody or combining, maybe you can't afford to hire a tutor, but if you combine it with a couple other kiddos, or, there's ways to make that happen. And realtors are so dang resourceful. I think that it's just a matter of getting out of your own way and your own head, just like you said. And I read something about schooling from home or whatever, and it actually came from a woman who homeschooled her children for like 12 years. And she was like, look, just because they're in school from 9 to 3 every day doesn't mean that you have their nose in a book from 9 to 3. They're walking the hallway for part of that time. She's like, their school time is really probably only 2.5 hours a day. Outside time is still important and all of that stuff. And I can imagine parents are like, what am I going to do with my kids for 6 hours out of the day where they're supposed to be learning stuff that whole time? But that's really not the case. And so I think the homeschooling, the way they have it organized and the way that they have it set up is, I hope people are taking that into consideration and thinking about that kind of stuff, because it's so easy to get, like I said, in your own head and in your own way, where you're like, you think it has to be a certain way and you don't bring your head up to look and see what other options there are. You just it just stresses you out, and just, I can't imagine.
Yeah. It bogged us down for a minute, and we put that pressure on ourselves. We're like, we have to sit down, and we were printing stuff out, and my husband would do some, and then I would do very little. He really took that on, and I'm just like, this is difficult for me to even train him, because I know that there's all of these other things that are happening and moving and gears for me. Like I have to be on with my clients and responding and like there. And it's hard when I'm sitting down and my attention's going over here. So yeah, it's really being creative, not putting all this crazy pressure on yourself. And I think now, because it's been so long, people are like, okay, let me just calm down. But at first, like I have, you know, teacher friends, and we have like all of our friends have young children. So it was just like a lot of phone calls about what are you doing? A lot of kids swapping. We have our little network and we're like, we trust these people. And it's like, I'll take your kid this day. You take my kid this day. All of us we're in our lives and we're moving and we're working. Yeah. And it's like, let me help you. Yeah. So you can help me. Yeah.
It's like new communities. Yeah. New communities within communities, you know, it's so important. And I still can't even imagine how you guys are doing it.
It's that mentality of that's really coming into play now. It takes a village. Yeah. That is more prevalent than ever right now. It came back and it means something, and it does. It takes all your people coming together, and you know, not necessarily kid swapping, but just, you know, coming together and shredding on ideas of how to deal with this situation. What are people doing? And just being creative. Think outside the box. That's the best thing you can do.
Yep. Well, good luck to you in the school year. And
thank you.
I want to wrap up. You kind of did the whole, you know, 360, like, you know, realtoring and entrepreneur and family and all of that. Wrap us up with how are you planning the end of your year, or how are you looking at things for the rest of 2020?
You know, I'm having these shifts in my career. I have my first investment, which was a property in Southeast Portland. You should take a look. It's 5432 Southeast Cooper Street. Hey. That was our first flip that my husband and I did completely solo. Like, we've worked with investors. We flipped a home. I wouldn't call it really flipping, but there was a home in the family that we had renovated and sold. But I think the direction now is that I'm going to continue to work with my people, and like anyone who comes out to me and they want interior design and they want to go down the road of buying or selling or what have you, love that. I'm always going to be doing that. This new area is investing in real estate, building my portfolio, flipping some homes. I want to marry Curate Your Cozy and the homes that I'm flipping together. And so with the Cooper Street flip, that was the first opportunity that I was able to do that. And I think it worked out beautifully, minus all the crazy obstacles, which wonderful learning experiences. That turned out to be just a killer project. I learned so much. I cried in my car a lot. There was an infestation of cats. Like, there was just all sorts of stuff going on. But
2020.
With all that being said, I know, right? With all that being said, I think that I'm going to continue down this road of just really trying to marry real estate, interiors, lifestyle investing. Like, that's what I love for my own personal life. And if anyone loves that too, I'm here to give you all of my experiences. So it might help for other people to build that if that's something they want for their lives too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's what they say, you know, that's how people think that realtors make the big bucks with buyers and sellers and working their job, but it's about investing and, you know, building that portfolio. It's not for everyone, but, you know, rental properties or flipping or whatever, you know, that's our wheelhouse. That's what we're good at. So we should be taking advantage of that. It's part of the job. You have a website for Curate, because I went on there and most of it was sold out, but you're re-upping. So tell us the website where people can buy.
You know what? I wanted to make it super simple to always be able to find me. You can go to www.mikishaismail.com and there's a shop tab. Okay. And that's where we have all of our curated boxes listed. We just got approved to sell on Instagram. So super easy at Mikisha Ismail. So you
spell that.
So I have two. You can find me at MikishaIsmail. If you want to buy a Curate Your Cozy box, this is where you should go. At CurateYour COZY. So that's at Curate Your Cozy.
Love it. And that's your Instagram?
Both of those are Instagrams. Yeah. And then just my general website, everything's in one place.
Yeah.
So you could just, type in Mikisha Ismail and it's going to really direct you right to www.mikishaismail.com. And from there, you can go to the shop tab and that's where all the listings will be.
Nice. I'll go get a box. I need one.
Yay. Well,
I'm going to wait till you put some new ones up.
Yep. I really want to gear up for the holiday season. And I honestly think there's going to be a crazy fall real estate buying and selling rush. I feel like it's been happening right now, but I think that people aren't like, oh, school, this and that.
They're not slowing down. No.
Right. Usually people are like, I want to be in the home before August so that my kids can start. Now, kids can still be in school and because it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there's going to be a good movement on fall buying and selling, shopping, and just like lifestyling it up. So I want to be ready for that.
Love that. All right, honey buns, thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited. Is your Cooper Street property also on your website still?
Yes, it is. It just sold. We just closed it 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we'll keep it on there so people can see it because it's so cute and it's your story.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a YouTube channel as well, which gives you all of the background as to the obstacles. So go on there, subscribe. My goal is to continue to divulge information that most flippers are not and try to help people understand what type of process this is and things to look out for, even if they're not going to become a flipper, just in your own obstacles, because people buy properties to renovate and live in them.
Yep.
So, these are some of the things that I went through. So,
I love that.
To try to protect yourself and have an understanding. So
added value is always, even just for your own clients, but, realtors need to be watching what other realtors are doing. And I love that. I think that's a great idea. Love it.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yes. Good luck in the school year and sell some houses. And I'm sure your kiddo will be a realtor by the time he's 7. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm molding that.
Right. Exactly. All right, hon. Thanks for being on.
Tracey. Yeah. Thank you.